Well, a school leader has to be a visionary. You have to be a strategic implementer
Right.
of the school's vision and the school's mission.
What are some of the most critical factors to ensuring excellence in education?
When you design a school and at every step you achieve what you have planned out for, especially, for example, the numbers in admission, the pen and paper test, just an exam, a summative exam at the end of the year or in the middle of the term is not a criteria anymore. Besides giving them responsibility, let them have a voice. Let them speak up. Let them, communicate when things are not okay. Internal assessments will never be accurate. Internal assessments will never have the validity if you have to look at what happens within a classroom.
So, you are working with the several schools and institutions as well. So, what do you think that which is one education practice which you think is outdated and people should avoid using that? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Her Talks, a podcast by Women First Jobs. Again, I would like to show my gratitude for showing all the love, support, and respect for all the females, those who are coming. Thank you so much for subscribing our channel and following us on the social media platform. As I promised, I got another inspiring female again on this platform for you. So let's all welcome Sangita Chima.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. It's a pleasure to be
It's such
chatting
a
up with you.
great pleasure to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself to our audience once?
Of course, I am Sangita, a school teacher for many decades. I am happy to be communicating with this vast network of fabulous women who have perhaps a journey in mind which will be very, very successful one fine day. I am a person with a very different trajectory. Besides being a teacher, a hardcore teacher, I've been a school leader for 25 years in India as well as in the UAE. And I believe that there is a passionate purpose in my existence in this beautiful, most privileged profession on earth.
That is wonderful. So, with over almost 3 decades in education, what has been the biggest shift you have seen in leadership and teaching methodologies?
Well, with leadership, I would say that the pyramid, which has this peak, has kind of reversed. And I feel the school leaders have now begun to serve the community, serve the student
Right.
group, the stakeholder, which is primary in the school scenario, also serve the parents as well as, most importantly, the teachers. So the pyramid has changed, it has become more distributive. And I would say that hierarchy here has turned more and more flat because eventually it's the teacher who's the leader in the classroom. And a school leader prepares her or him completely for that responsibility. And therefore, the evolving mindset and approach of leadership has gone through various stages. It's become more collaborative. It was kind of in a silo, authoritative, and unidirectional. But now it's kind of got into a network mode where collaboration is key, communication is key, and believing in everybody and trusting everybody and letting go of just being a dominant figure has completely changed. So it's creativity and collaboration completely in the leadership mode. And with teaching methodologies and technologies and tactics, there's been a complete shift from teacher driven, teacher centered approach to a student centered approach where there is strengthening of the curriculum, strengthening of the pedagogy with the assessments and other procedures. So there has been an evolution starting from, I would say, a old time traditional methodology to something that is modern
Mhm.
and very, very rigorous in the learning program for a child.
But what do you think? Like, what does it take to successfully lead an institution through academic and cultural transformation?
Well, a school leader has to be a visionary. You have to be a strategic implementer
Right.
of the school's vision and the school's mission. But that's again just uh, a great, I would say, value to have and a trajectory to have. But to implement it, you need to have what is known as a system. So I could have my goals, but it is the system, a system thinking approach that enables a school leader to be able to apply what that vision is into the
Absolutely.
culture of the school.
Right.
So, Peter Drucker would say that culture could eat strategy for breakfast.
Hmm.
So, if I am able to bring about an understanding in a school system, which is an organization that learns, an organization that is maturing and serving the children, innovating all the time, empowering the teachers, then I would say that is a fulfilled answer to the question.
Yeah, I think that is quite important as compared to the what has happened in the past and the modern the era. It
Absolutely.
has changed drastically.
Completely. It's been transformational. And all school organizations who have embraced that change have progressed, because we
Absolutely.
have this responsibility, of ensuring that students who are there with us now are the future. Not only just the future, the series of generations after
Right.
that. So the responsibility of getting this learning done in
Hmm.
the best possible manner is extremely important, and we have to use all that's new and existing in the scenario right now.
Okay. So you have played a clear key role in school accreditation and quality assurance as well. What are some of the most critical factors to ensuring excellence in education?
So, you know, goals can raise you, personal goals, institutional goals. But if you do not have a system,
Hmm.
that could be a downfall. So, accreditation and quality assurance and quality implementation are essentials,
Hmm.
which perhaps the corporate sector is very well known for,
Hmm.
especially in industries and manufacturing. So I worked with NABET, the National Accreditation Board for Education and Training in New Delhi, for about 3 years as a school assessor. NABET comes under QCI, the Quality Control of India. And they were assessing schools way back in the first decade of this century. And if a school is able to follow the quality cycle of evaluating yourself, moving into the next step of identifying where you are with all the trajectories, starting with student achievement, which is connected to student attainment and progress and learning skills.
Right.
So you collect data on that. You look at the curriculum, the movement of the design of the curriculum and its implementation, and most importantly, its impact. So that's a kind of a self check. We look at student behavior and well being, which is very important. We are also documenting inclusion as well as looking at students with gifts and talents, which are also in the different level.
Right.
And finally, on school management, which is important in the daily routine. And therefore, organizing a system with a whole lot of procedures is a responsibility of a school leader. And I would say that although strategic leadership, educational leadership, ethical leadership are the core of a school leader,
Hmm.
operational leadership is also a responsibility. And therefore, a good team with great support can provide absolute progression there.
Okay. So, Ms. Sangita, you have founded a new school as well as designed as well.
Yeah,
So, what do you think was the most challenging as well as the rewarding experience in that entire journey?
yeah,
I would say, like now, the parents are more demanding as well as the
absolutely.
students are more aware as well. The challenges are to another level.
So, to design a new school is is a wonderful opportunity for a school leader. And fortunately, I've done it in the NCR, the National Capital Region, twice. Once in Greater Noida, the second in Noida, and the third in the UAE. So I have founded three new schools. And all along, the challenge is the same because you have this blueprint with you,
Right.
not only in its infrastructure, but also in designing the curriculum, in recruiting the team, in training the team, in the professional development and the readiness of the team. For example, if I do not get it all on time, if I do not have the processes and procedures put in place on time, I will not be able to start that first day of school.
Right.
So the biggest challenge is a kind of a planned conspiracy to make sure that all these factors and all these procedures come in right from the admission process to the induction. We would plan as big as possible and then implement it. So in India, the compliance procedures are different and I would say not very systematic. But here in the UAE, the compliance systems are, I would say, fabulous. The checks and uh, awarding of the certification is very streamlined, and we are able to achieve even the highest levels of safety, of curricular standards, of pedagogical requirements because of the support that we get from the government. And that's not all. There are brilliant guidelines which you can follow and implement, and that gives you a benchmark, and these benchmarks are internationally stated. There is nothing that is not touched upon for a good school. So, therefore, the parents are confident. They know that the entire procedure will be flawless, and including the community, there is a complete harmony and collaboration. So, I feel compliance is a challenge, but achieving it is a reward. I also feel that when you design a school and at every step you achieve what you have planned out for,
Right.
especially, for example, the numbers in admission or the design of a curriculum with the latest learning outcomes that are envisaged in UAE, in the world, or in the national education policy that is new. Uh, we do move into a space where I feel that the school is ready to begin and the community is ready to take that school from the primary, middle, and secondary levels in the years to come.
Okay. So, with experience in curriculum innovation, how do you see the future of education evolving? Or it is becoming more challenging?
No, in fact, it's optimal and it's necessary. So, in curriculum design, whichever the curriculum, whether it is the British curriculum, the IB, or the Indian curriculum, the ICSE, or the CBSE, uh, a curriculum is infused with learning competencies.
Hmm.
And these competencies are brilliantly brought about even in the CBSE curriculum of the last couple of years. So, because of the shift from a memory or a rote based mechanism to an inquiry based process, the entire curriculum has got validity. It's an enriching experience. Students are engaged. Assessments have now changed. They are now competency focused assessments. There are portfolios, and there are a difference where you are able to engage with what a child is doing with solving problems in the real world scenario. So I have projects and I have rubrics to engage with a child's assessment over there. So just the pen and paper test, just an exam, a summative exam at the end of the year or in the middle of the term is not a criteria
Right.
anymore. there are so many internal portfolios that come into place subject wise, and the whole child approach to teaching, learning, and assessment, the three steps towards curricular movement and impact is is quite different, and that's because of the innovation. But one of the most important things that we need to work out in a curricular structure is what else can a school, through its culture, through its learning culture, what else can a school put into the curriculum. And that is where the skills, the life skills, the proficiencies from various international organizations such as the OECD, the WHO, the the social emotional learning organizations come in. And if these skills are embedded through learning outcomes in the curriculum, right from the kindergarten up to the secondary school, the teacher uses it spontaneously with her teaching learning, which is again very, very spontaneous and more on the, the students' takeaways, then a curriculum is highly enriched. But I would say that there has been this transformation, and every school has a committed group of people, leaders who redesign the curriculum
Right.
to make it more engaging, more enriching. And that is what is a skill or a measure of a student's learning and his or her readiness for the future. So, those future jobs, those future college admissions, the, the subjects have changed dramatically. It's so unprecedented. We don't know what those societal changes would
Hmm.
be. But yet, we have to ensure that the students are prepared for that unknown, and therefore the skills have to be transformative.
Right.
So I want to highlight three transformative skills or competencies that students must acquire. And one is to create new value. There could be disaster, there could be great happiness, there could be everything going absolutely fine. But through various experiences, however topsy turvy, a student should be able to create new value out of a situation, or or maybe just this mic in front of me. What
Hmm.
can I do which is different?
Right.
And that's a skill that all entrepreneurs do.
Hmm.
So that's one. Create new value out of an experience, whatever it could be. The second is take responsibility.
Hmm.
It's essential for youngsters, adults, little kids to take responsibility of their own learning, to see themselves moving along and co creating that learning journey. It's always at a time in our lives, in our generation, that we were always given things, do this, do that, and if we did it well, fine. If I didn't like it, I didn't understand, oh, that story doesn't work. So here, the the change is that you take responsibility for your own learning, and that is taught in schools as a skill right from the kindergarten. you know the third is amazing. It's a skill, a transformative competency which is required in the world today, and that is reconcile tensions. So there would be disruption, there would be unhappiness, there would be two people not uh, following the same mindset or approach and thinking differently, and I need to respect that. So, reconcile tensions is a skill that you and I, the kids, and everybody in the society must be able to imbibe naturally. For example, if there's a problem with America and Ukraine right now, last night had a lot of strange developments which are just not good for the world. Are leaders not able to reconcile tension? Are we just going to live with them, prolong them, take them to war, and look at war as a solution?
Right.
So, if there are negotiating skills taught to children, harmonious coexistence taught to children, and I can convert a conflict into a peace
Right.
dialogue, then I am able to, learn these competencies in a curricular manner all through my school years. So these are some transformative competencies that the OECD has put
Hmm.
forth. But there is two more wonderful ideas. One is student agency. Besides giving them responsibility, let them have a voice.
Hmm.
Let them speak up. Let them, communicate when things are not okay. Suppose there's bullying in the school. I should be able to know as a school leader that even in the primary school or in the middle school, there are certain disturbing relationships. And if the children are not able to speak up, those will continue. So
Absolutely.
that realization is necessary.
Hmm.
And finally, there are certain foundational competencies which are very important, and these are the core. In our time, of course, I've been around for so long, we had numeracy and literacy as the core skills. So you
Right.
learn these, and then you pick up your subjects, and you're good to go to whichever college and whichever dream job that you might want. But now, after the pandemic, we've got health literacy, digital literacy involved. So you've got numeracy, you've got your basic literacy, and you've got health, and finally finance. You
Hmm.
have to have an aptitude for financial literacy right from the school days. So there are three buckets here. One is transformational competencies, which are very new, and I must know how to look at conflict and not drag it on forever. The other is core competencies, which are not just numeracy and literacy, but we have finance and health right now. And thirdly, it's important for all school organizations to give student their voice, and we call this skill student agency. At any time, the freedom to communicate is
Right.
essential.
Okay. So we all know that you are doing amazing in the educational sector, and you're helping a lot of parents and the kids to navigate through that education system as well. So we have designed a couple of questions for you just to understand more about you as a person.
Lovely,
Yeah. So
lovely.
whatever first comes to your mind, just answer that. One book every educator should read.
Well, there are several, several, but uh, I would say Schools That Learn.
Okay.
This is a book by Peter Senge, and he has brought in his five disciplines into the education system, which I feel is an essential book. It's like a reference book which you can read over a period of time, go back to whenever you want to. But Peter Senge's book called Schools That Learn is a fabulous book amongst many others which I could just list forever. And here he's got these five mind disciplines
Hmm.
which are essential. So one of it is personal mastery. Starts with personal mastery for a teacher, for a leader, for anybody in the school. Secondly is a shared vision. Thirdly, team learning. Fourthly, mental models. What are the mental models? And fifth, which is my favorite, is system thinking. So you need to have a educational system, a living education system, very vibrant, with a whole lot of practices, starting with policy, procedures, and eventually
Hmm.
practices. So if you have these all beautifully outlined, and you have a process of improving, of evaluating it as a term goes by or a year goes by, then that system will empower you. Normally, you may have a great goal, but the systems kind of get you to
Right.
sink.
Right.
So, Peter Senge's Schools That Learn is a fabulous book for educators to read,
Okay.
teachers to read, everybody.
And your go-to stress buster?
Oh, I love to go outdoors, take a walk, slight jog. I love the Kite Beach track.
Nice.
I like to even cycle there because it's a separate track for cycling, and I love the vastness of the sea. So it's a lot of trekking that I do back home because I live in the hills. But here, anything outdoors is great. And now that the weather's fine, it's lovely. I hope it stays this way for a little more, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So, one educational leader you admire the most?
Well, well, it has to be Howard Gardner. I have done a course in the Harvard Graduate School of Education, HGSE in Boston.
Hmm.
It's called Project Zero, and Howard Gardner has been able to bring in certain practices and infuse them through Project Zero into schools in various parts of the world. And his philosophy of multiple intelligence, which is most popular, has had an impact in a teacher's mind because you now don't look at only intelligence, but there are seven others
Right.
which could be inherent in a child, right from kinesthetics to music
Hmm.
to many others, including numeracy, etc., and art. So it's Howard Gardner. But Priyanka, just to give you a little bit of a background here, in the world today, there is biology, psychology, and neurosciences that has an impact on schools. And in the Harvard Graduate School of Education, the work that they do primarily, especially in understanding teaching and understanding leadership, it's called teaching, TFU, teaching for understanding, and leading for understanding. So, if I have to design a chemistry lab as a principal, then I can't just do it without understanding what the chemistry
Right.
teacher wants, what the lab assistant wants, and most importantly, what the students want.
Hmm.
So today, I'm in a completely different zone, which I'd like to talk to you later, where you can have mixed reality labs. And where would that idea come from? Students who say, look, I also want a space where I can be doing experiments. I needn't have to have everything. I
Hmm.
need to have an augmented reality device. So that becomes a exciting new innovation given to us by the users, the students. So that's called leading for understanding. Anything I do, I need to understand what the drivers in my school do because they are the most important human resource
Hmm.
responsible for safely getting thousands of those kids into the classroom every day and safely taking them back. So if I am able to connect with them once in a way emotionally as a leader, I'm able to ensure that that process happens well because it's the human capital. Even if they are outsourced transport systems as we have in Dubai, each person's understanding and their work is essential. So these are things that the Harvard Graduate School of Education has a full-fledged 6-month course for, which is wonderful, leading for understanding and teaching for understanding. Other than that, Howard Gardner has written a lot of books. I have read them all, and I have begun to use all these takeaways almost every moment of my time that I've had in schools, and now with the new work that I'm doing.
That's wonderful. So, you have worked with global institutions. How
Yes.
can schools in India and the UAE align with international learning standards while maintaining their cultural identity as well?
Well, this is a wonderful question to ask, Priyanka, and for you, especially you being a woman who has kind of placed a lot of young teenagers and like this lovely girl who's an intern with you, and mothers and other professionals into a space where they can work. There is a gradual pathway from schools to college to life outside. And I am absolutely in awe of the mechanism that exists in the UAE because schooling here is very well structured, it is guided, it is benchmarked with international
Right.
data. So every school, whether it's an Indian curriculum school or a British curriculum school or whatever, every school has got student data, which is set according to the school's goal, and that school's goal is according to the goal that the UAE wishes to aspire, with international benchmark assessments such as PISA, TIMS, TIMMS, or PEARLS. And all schools strive to make sure that the curriculum supports the students' achievement in such a manner that we achieve those goals. And therefore, these goals are so well ingrained in the schools in UAE, and the data that we get from these benchmark assessments, the international benchmark assessment, and the assessments that the UAE puts in place for the schools is goal driven. So we achieve those. In India, we have to be able to look at international benchmark achievements eventually, because that's a reflection, a clear reflection of the achievement in a genuine and honest manner. Because internal assessments will never be accurate. Internal assessments will never have the validity if you have to look at what happens within a classroom, because it engages formatively, but it is not a summative assessment that's valid. So the big difference is that the UAE has set itself international benchmark achievements, which they achieve. Like Dubai is first in the GCC countries in TIMS results. It's done exceptionally well with uh, PISA, PISA, as well as PIRLS, PEARLS. PEARLS is a reading assessment, a reading literacy assessment, which is conducted by international bodies such as the OECD. The second big difference that I feel between India, the UAE, and the world is UAE emphasizes on learning skills.
Right.
And this is in two spaces. One is my learning skills with a specific subject. It could be math, it could be science, it could be social science, history, geography, accountancy, whatever. And the second is my own learning skills of how am I as a learner in the classroom or in my own private space? Do I ask questions? Do I automatically go into research? Am I an independent learner? Am I dependent on my teacher? So, learning skills is an emphasis, and that's also very well measured in this system over here. I feel in India, the compliance process, the uh, the accreditation process, the quality assurance process has to develop. And it is these processes here that give the schools a, a, a direction that is very, very impactful. I know exactly what I will do next. I know what my next improvement steps are.
Right.
What will I do for development in all the areas of school uh, processes and systems? So, CBSE's got 30,000 schools. There is no inherent mechanism of evaluating whether those schools are functioning the way they should be. Whereas here, we go through an intense evaluation, a quality visit by the KHD, since I have been in Dubai for the last 8 years, brilliantly, and I can see what I need to do next as a school leader. My governors know what the school needs to aim for, and hence provide this necessary support, especially resources, and what the parents hope for. So if I'm a parent and I want to see which school my kid is suitable for, I can look at that report
Right.
and take admission accordingly. So the benchmarks that the UAE has set for itself are really high and very measurable. I think India, with its vast number of schools, can put practices into place to measure their outcome and put in an improvement system. So, to have a framework, a school improvement framework for all schools in every country is essential.
Hmm. Okay. So you are working with the several schools and institutions as well. So what do you think that which is one education practice which you think is outdated and people should avoid using that?
Well, the I want to be a little different on this. The idea of schooling as it exists today is has to change. A school has to get into the community.
Right.
We have to have a lot of spaces which are more expert based. For example, if there is a system where you have coding and programming happening well in the community, there should be a connection between those experts and the school. So, industry experts have to come into the school. You might have great artists, ceramic and pottery setups,
Hmm.
a, a woman's entrepreneurship company such as yours doing well. Why can't we collaborate with the community? Because the asset that a community has are the students, the
Right.
children, and they deserve to be out in the community besides the regular pattern of teaching learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, someone has to really redesign real world learning into the curriculum. It has to be enforced from the regulators, and then the school has to have a whole lot of opportunities that the community is teaching the children. It could be a group of housewives, it could be mothers, it could be
Right.
grandparents, it could be storytelling by grandparents, it could be art from an artist who is really brilliant.
Hmm.
So I feel this isolation of a school as an entity. So, as a school leader, I am leading these children out into the community. I need to prepare them for what's there.
Hmm.
I don't do that. I just go on with this teaching learning program, which is so rigorous, so set. Of course, it has evolved and the curriculum has changed, but getting into the community is a kind of a requirement, and that will be what is known as wholesome
Hmm.
schooling for a child, and a child will then walk into the community as he belongs there. So, internships could be more in
Right.
schools as well, not
Hmm.
necessarily at the college level.
Okay. But what do you think that how schools can create more inclusive environment for both the teachers and the students? How they can empower them more?
Yeah. So, just as in a family, safety and security comes
Hmm.
first for everybody. Even if you have a pet,
Right.
everybody needs to be safe and
Absolutely.
secure. The school's environment has to be safe and secure. Then, engagement for every child,
Hmm.
depending upon his learning um, trajectory, however slow or fast it might be, however different it might be. So, an inclusion program must be able to engage students completely so that there is a differentiated learning approach,
Hmm.
a differentiated teaching approach, and not an one size
Fit
fits
for all.
all
Yeah.
approach. So, the teaching learning should be supported with technology. So I
Hmm.
can engage with you, say Priyanka, personally as to where your learning is in terms of, say, math,
Hmm.
and I'm able to give you support in those areas where you need it, and I'm able to give somebody else a lot of challenge if someone is in a different level. So, inclusion means you personalize the learning journey. Inclusion means everybody is in the engagement mode so that you do not lose out and you are not disengaged or disinterested. And finally, one of the most important support systems is to provide technology to the teacher to empower her. And that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
just to highlight, Priyanka, and this would be very interesting for all your women in the WFJ, the Women First
Yeah.
jobs. Yeah. So I've been a teacher since 1986, so I'm primitive, and you guys are all youngsters. I've been a principal for 25 years, since 1999 till now. I've headed some of the best schools in the country, in India and here. I have been the first lady head of a 167-year-old school, the Lawrence School, Lovedale in Ooty, a boarding school where I was the first woman. And I mean, I had a great time for 6 years. And after that, I shifted to the UAE to stretch my learning a little more and understand international standards. But coming to the point that I was trying to make, I I feel that there is a gap in all these years which I've been watching closely. Of course, we all try and do our best to bridge those gaps. Then comes a pandemic and it shakes you up a little more, and you say, "Yeah, this gap has got
Right.
worse." So the gap that I've noticed in the entire teaching learning system is that technology exists in hundreds, thousands,
Hmm.
millions of formats, but the technology does not support uh, the teacher and her pedagogy, her art of teaching learning. So I have started a company called PedTech Global, Pedagogy Technology Global,
Okay.
and I've got a lovely license. We are good to go in this wonderful world, especially the GCC
Right.
and the UAE. And I have selected three different areas of work. One is designing learning spaces where technology is integrated into
Hmm.
the curriculum. The other is software and solutions that support the teacher so that she is able to be empowered.
Hmm.
Normally, what's happening is the teacher takes a back step and the
Hmm.
kids are having a great time with technology in their hand.
Right.
Their software, their mobiles, their iPads, their laptops, etc. And there is a kind of a fear zone with the teacher because she's not confident. So I have brought in a beautiful company that caters to pedagogy and technology. We blend it together, we train the teacher, we train her backwards, and then we present that technology into the classroom. So I have a wonderful company called Pet Tech Global, and it has started with work. We have got traction from many schools. We've been able to design the best labs, and we have started implementation in full swing. I am so happy to let you know that there is a new school that is coming up by GEMS
Yeah.
Education called GEMS School of Research and
Right.
Innovation. And my company is designing 19 labs, 19 labs in the next 6 months in phase one and 8 months to complete phase two. So I have got a design technology lab where a design technology expert has been able to design the space, provide the technology, provide the software, and as soon as it is given to the school, we will train the teachers to use it. So similarly, we've got a disruption lab, I told you about a mixed reality lab, I've got a food tech lab.
Hmm.
So we've got these food bots called foodinis are able to go through coding and programming that a child will do
Hmm.
to create, say, different kinds of chocolates, and you could then take it on to an entrepreneurship business.
Hmm.
So the kids will be doing what a chef does, create dishes, etc., but also work with computers in the food tech lab. So we've got a graphics art lab, we've got robotics lab. I'm getting the best robots from all over the world into these learning spaces in Dubai, and and they are the best because students are going to be able to master programming, and it's their future. All said
Right.
and done, if they know that they're going to have these learning machines around, these machine learning bots around,
Hmm.
and they start right now. It's looking after what would be a future space and making them comfortable with
Hmm.
that space. So we've got some of the best companies that make robots. Boston Dynamics. We've got Unitree. We've got Kawasaki. Kawasaki robots are fabulous.
Wow.
Those arms can,
Right.
just do so much. And
It's
imagine a kid programming it all.
yeah,
And
it
these arms
sounds
have
yeah.
so many aspects. So it's a beautiful space. And because I'm an educator doing this, I've got these companies wanting to connect with me.
That is wonderful, and congratulations for that. I mean, this is a wonderful futuristic move, I would say.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
you know what? I was told that, look, you are a principal. There's no way you're going to be able to do sales well, and your entrepreneurship skills may not be great at all. And I fully agree. They aren't. But when you have connected an educator's head and
Right.
heart with technology, you've given it more standing, more value,
Hmm.
more applicability, you know? It's like a chef selling a recipe,
Yeah.
and just about anybody else selling a recipe. I'm,
Hmm.
I'm sure you'll take what the chef gives. So this is a kind of a new concept where I have got a group of educators who have joined me, and PedTech Global has got. I'm so honored and happy with this very, very astounding opportunity of designing 19 labs of GEM School of Research, plus other many other schools uh, have got smaller learning spaces that we are working on,
Right.
not necessarily the elite schools, just all kinds of schools.
Hmm.
And we have got a busy agenda every single day.
That is wonderful. So this is the last question for you. So Miss Sangita, what do you think? Like, what is the best leadership lesson you have learned through your journey?
So, a teacher is a leader, a school
Right.
leader is a leader. And
Hmm.
now, in my new role as a edu entrepreneur,
Hmm.
I have another journey. So, I would say that I believe in service. I believe in working for the team, working for our stakeholders to ensure that the goals are achieved.
Hmm.
And I am a proactive person, a
Hmm.
proactive leader. I love to prepare for the next day completely, including what I'm going to wear. I have my notes ready. I want everybody to know that there is expectations, but the freedom of them to continue with those expectations, responsibility wise, is their forte. I get ready for the next day by making sure that I'm the first person to get there, especially in a school environment. I love to be at the bus bay to receive the children. I like to go around and see how the lessons are being transacted. So, being proactive, being there, doing what is to be done in an active mode, I feel is essential. And that's been my leadership journey. I would want to welcome the children. I would like to see them off. I would like to welcome my teachers. I would like to see them off so that they go home happy. And
Right.
I believe that one of the best takeaways in my life has been I enjoy my job. I make sure that everybody else does. And there's no unnecessary stress that is eating into somebody's headspace. So if there is, there's always a solution. And I believe that all this while I've been looking at solving problems when they are small rather than waiting for them to magnify. So just being proactive, looking at the small things and solving those, serving the community with the agenda that's required has been my simple, fundamental takeaway. And I feel there would be failure, there would be kinds of setbacks, especially for women, even if you think it's not there, the traditional society doesn't let you go for a run. So there would be a backlash now and then, and you have that ceiling on your head. But if you are able to stand tall, shoulder wide, chin up, with a smile, it does impact the whole community. And I have had a wonderful time with my career, especially from day one till now. And the best part is happening now because it's an adventure which I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I was told that you won't be able to talk to investors. I said, yes, I know I won't, but I will learn because we need investment to get the whole, business going. But it's happened so fast. It's happened so quickly. I am so very grateful with this journey so far. Thank you. Thank you very much, Priyanka, for being able to get me to share a few thoughts.
Thank you so much, Miss Sangita, for coming on our show. I think it was really insightful. I mean, like you shed the light on various factors actually, how important it is for the educational institutes to adapt with the changes in the society, how important it is equally important for the parents as well to prepare the kids as well, and for the
Yes.
kids as well to understand the changes and everything. Thank you
Mm.
so much for taking your time and coming here. It's really insightful and enlightening for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Priyanka. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. And I would like to leave with one clear thought that everybody in the community must respect the teacher, give
Right.
her more value, give her more training, never have shortcuts in those areas because it's the teacher that takes the
Right.
classroom into a future and prepares those lovely citizens. And also give her a great pay.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure people are listening.
Yes, yes. I think that's good
Yeah,
motivation and it's well deserved as well. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.